Hi, I've had many requests for some seated Pilates for different reasons. Maybe someone's mobility isn't great, maybe they find it hard to keep going down from the floor into standing, or just keep moving about, and they want something a little bit more. You've got a stable surface. Now it needs to be a good chair, nice back, so you've got support. We might move about a bit on the chair. 90-degree angle of the legs, okay, so that's not too high, it's not too low, so you're comfortable. I want you to just think about, sit right to the back of the chair, sit nice and tall. If you need a footstool, for instance, you could use maybe a rolled up towel so the feet rest nicely, so you've got a nice position of the knee, okay? So I want you to think about your posture. Do you feel like you're rounded over? Your upper body is way far forward. So I want you to just roll the shoulders up towards the ears and just slide the shoulder blades down the back. Then I want you to think about your sit bones. So left, right side of the pelvis, and are you evenly balanced? Because a lot of people do favour one side more than the other, particularly when driving actually. So now we're just sitting in our chair, we're focusing on even alignment, and it's something to think about throughout the day as well. And then you want to think about the rib cage. You want to think about almost lifting the ribs away from the pelvis, so, but not just at the front, all around. So it helps to lengthen the muscles either side of the spine. So think about taking an inhale and visualize that inhale is pumping up each disc in your back. Obviously it's not, but that visualization can help lengthen. So we inhale and lift, okay? Now you might have found that this happened. I'm going to do it badly, okay? So the shoulders might have just lifted. So I want you to, again, keep the shoulders away from the ears and just think of inhaling and lifting the spine, okay? So you've got length. Finally, I want you to draw the chin in. So this might feel a little bit odd. It's not how you may normally sit in a chair, but we want to be in seated neutral, okay? So we're going to think about our core connection. So if I was to come up, I like this visualization, it's not for everybody, but if you think about someone's going to come up and just punch you in the tummy, what would your automatic body response be? It would be to tighten around your abdominals to protect your inner organs. And that's the kind of the contraction that we want. We want to be a bit aware of our abdominals, aware of our inner corset, okay? So you've got that certain amount of contraction there. Now you're going to feel that contraction a little bit more as we go through. You'll be more aware of it. So your feet are flat. You've got a little bit of abdominal contraction. You're inhaling slowly through the nose and slowly exhale through the mouth. This time place your hands just on your lower ribs. So as you inhale, you feel the ribs expand. And as you slowly exhale, keep going with the exhalation, and you feel the exhalation is possibly longer than the inhalation. Okay, so you've got lateral thoracic breathing. You're breathing right into the side and the back of the rib cage. Okay, we're just going to start to mobilize through the spine. So just let your arms just hang down by your sides. This is where if you've got a chair with arms, it's not going to be, ideal. Okay, I've just got like a kitchen chair here. Sometimes even a garden chair will do. So now you're just going to just slowly reach towards one side. Now, as you do this, you want to feel like both sit bones are glued to the chair, and then pull back up, lifting and lengthening as you go. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, just taking that arm going further down. The shoulder remains in line with your hip, so you're not moving it forwards, getting a stretch through the waist. And then pulling back and create length as you pull back. And we're going to go again. So it's an inhale, a slow exhale, softening of the rib cage, and you're just that little bit of side flexion. And coming back over. Now that might be enough for you, or we can deepen that stretch by lifting one arm up. Inhale. exhale. Nothing is forced. Coming back in. And then we do the other side. So we float the arm up with an inhale. Almost visualize this arm is heavy as you take it over. Pulling back. Arms rest down. Quick body check. Are you still in that neutral? Have you got both sit bones? The back of the chair, you're supported, you're lengthened, and your shoulders are back and down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start to mobilize through the shoulders. So we just roll up and down, roll up and down. So we've had side flexion through the spine. Now we're getting some mobility through your shoulders. You can add a little bit of side flexion through your spine as you get the rib cage involved. So as you go over, your elbow is leading. There's a little bit of rotation as well. Let's take the arm all the way back. You can gaze at the arm as you take it over. And then the other side, floating up, gazing at the arm as it goes over. And back. We'll do two more. So it's a lift. So lovely, gentle mobility. Lift. Maybe your balance isn't great. Maybe you just feel more comfortable sitting down, which is absolutely fine. Let's get some mobility through in rotation. So what we're going to do, we're going to layer the arms. I've just got an upward press and a downward press, and I'm going to lift the spine with an inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to rotate. You can get really good quality rotation in the seated position. Now you're not lifting your sit bone, you're keeping that glued down, and then we come back. Inhale as you exhale, or maybe this is something if you do a lot of desk work, take a 5 minute to 20 minute break, do some gentle mobility. So we're lifting the spine, and as we lift, we rotate. And lower. Okay. We're still thinking about the upper spine, so the thoracic spine, and we want to get some forward flexion in there. Okay, so the way we're going to do that is we're going to use the arms. So we're going to bring the back of the hands together and round through the upper back, scoop the tummy in, and then we open. And then we round through. So you're getting that lovely mobility into the upper mid-back. And then open. I've got to be mindful of the time here. And then round. So that's the forward flexion. Then you have your extension, which you need to perform if you do find yourself in that forward flex. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, and then I'm rounding forwards. And then again, I'm going to squeeze those shoulder blades together. If you were in standing, I'd say this is like a ship's figurehead, okay, at the front of a ship. We'll do one more. So it's a round and an open. And then we're coming back and down. So if you do find yourself in a lot of forward flexion, you might find that you're already sitting taller. Now let's think about the feet being the contact with the floor. You could use your little spiky balls to wake up the fascia in the feet, or we're just going to just pedal push the feet in this seated position. So you're pumping through the feet, working through the ankle joint itself. The arms just tend to join in, they don't have to. All the time thinking of posture. You're getting the blood flow going in the legs. Now let's work that a little bit more. You don't have to have your heels pressed to the floor, okay? Your feet are, as long as your ankles, knees and hips are in alignment, so your legs aren't together. We're going to engage through the core, and we're just going to lift our right leg, floating it above the floor, and lower. Now, if you feel a little bit of a pull on the back, you might have to adjust the position of the pelvis, so you might need to tuck your tailbone under slightly and then lift, because you might have quite a lordotic spine, which may basically, as you lift the leg, it might pull a little bit on your lower back. So if you think of tucking your tailbone under slightly, lengthening and then lift, you've got a good position of the pelvis, you're flexing through your hip, so you might feel a little bit of gripping there, lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. So you're now going into core strength. How about we add coordination and we lift opposite arm? Now what I want you to do is that resting foot, the foot that you leave on the floor, visualise that it's resting on thin ice. Okay, lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. Keep that lengthening through your spine, keep the shoulders dropping down, keep the chin drawn in. Lifting and lowering, and you can feel how that affects those deep stabilisers. Okay, now we're going to leave the feet down and I'm going to get a leg extension. So we're going to lift and extend, bend, draw back. Now when you create a little bit more movement like that, especially when you're lengthening the lever away, make sure you keep the position of the pelvis, the spine the same. So we hip flex, we lift the leg and then extend that lever and bring back and bring down. And I've got an obstacle in the way now. So we go again. So we lift, we extend, we come back, come down. Lift, extend, come back and down. Just sit nice and tall. I want you to come to the front of the chair so that you're comfortable. I don't want you dangling off the edge, and make sure that obviously you're not so far off the edge that it's not going to lift the chair. So we're going to get some hip mobility in here. So you're sitting on the edge of the chair, not necessarily for people with hip replacements. Okay, see if anything aggravates or hurts, please stop. Sit tall, lift, rotate, down, lift, rotate, back. So the femur head, top of the leg, lift, rotate externally, touch the floor, facing forwards, feel it here, lift, rotate, down. Okay, we're going to go again. So it's a lift, engaging through your core, rotate, lift, and down. So you feel a connection with the deep abdominals as well, stabilising you, because we keep the spine in the same position. So the leg moves independently. So we lift, rotate, touch, lift, rotate, down. Okay, still keeping this position. We're going to bring the feet together. We're going to do like a seated oyster. So you just take your leg out to one side. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do the other side. It can feel a bit awkward. 1, but you feel it in your glutes. 2, 3, 4, and back. Let's do another set. Sit tall, pelvis in neutral, open out. 1, 2, 3, 4. You certainly get more awareness of the muscles working in this position because you can feel the contact with the chair. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Grab your band. Sit back into your chair. Sit tall. We're going to take a upward hold of the band, so supine position of the hands if you like. So we've got in the palms of our hands. You don't want too much resistance here, but you don't want it to be like that. You want a little tiny bit of tension there, but that's going to increase. We roll the shoulders back and down, and we're going to open out. It's as if the elbows are glued into the waist, and return. Feel that resistance. So it's an open and close. So that you're doing what we call a dumb waiter. Open and close. Open. So we're targeting the muscles around the shoulders, in between the shoulder blades. Might be tough if you're rounded in the shoulders. And back. Now what we're going to do is take a little bit of a wider grip. Raise the band up. You've got an outward press. Remember you're in your neutral position. We're going to draw the elbows in towards the waist. Now that band is only coming about 2 inches in front of my nose. And raise up. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. You might be aching in the shoulders. Let's hold here. Let's go into side flexion. Both sit bones are into the chair. Pull back. Feel the muscles of the waist pulling you back. Take a breath in. Take an exhale over. So you're probably working more muscles than you realise. And then back. You can increase the intensity by coming down and a little bit of a downward press with that band. And then pull back up. And again, a little bit of a downward press. And pull. And then raise. Just bring the band down. A little bit going back into mobility of your shoulders. Outward press, and I want the band. It depends on your mobility of your shoulders. Now, if you have mobility issues, you need to take the band wide. The wider the arms, the kinder it is on the shoulders. I'm not asking you to I'm just asking you to, we want to move, we say with grace, and we want to be fluid in our movement. So there's no jolty movements. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to float the right leg up. Not too high, just to hover. And lower. Float the left leg. And lower. Shoulder mobility, core strength, hip flexion. And we're working with our breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to take the mobility to a little bit more extreme. Well, not to the extreme, I don't like that word, but we're going to increase our range of movement. If we can, we're going to take the band up. We're going to outward press, take it over the head. If we can, take it back. Now, if you found yourself going, oh my God, I can't do that, don't do it. Or widen the position of the band. You don't want to be doing this. You want to be floating the band up and outward press, keeping the quality of the movement and taking it just back there, just to top side of the shoulder blades. Lift and lower. You might find your arms are aching a bit. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Now we're going to work with our rotation. So we're going to bring band, I'd say shoulder distance apart. Shoulder blades are stable, so you're not overreaching. We go into rotation. Center. Rotation. Keep the shoulders away from your ears. Center. Rotation. Head, neck and shoulders working together. Inhale and then exhale. And back. If you have one of these bender balls, place the bender ball in between the knees. Sit tall. We're going to work through the inner thigh, which is going to help work through your pelvic floor. And it is just as important for men as it is for women. Okay, so we're just going to have little pulses. Sit nice and tall, pulse on the ball. 1, you hold the side of the chair if you need to. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release, give it a little bit of time to recover, and then we're going to go again. So you have the ball here, you sit nice and tall, tailbone sinking into the chair, crown of the head towards the ceiling, and then again little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you haven't got a ball, you could use a plump cushion or pillow, yeah? So it's just helping to activate through your inner thigh, working through the pelvic floor. Sit tall, and we're going to go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And lower. We're going to take the ball out, grab the band, take your time with this. So I'm not right at the back of the chair now, I'm sat forwards, and I'm going to grab the band and I'm going to tie it in a little knot. So take your time with it so it doesn't all get uncomfortable and screwed up. I'm going to do a pretty little bow, but you don't have to. It just makes it easier to undo. Sit tall. Again, have your arms hanging down. Outward press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Already feeling it more there. Now how about we work a little bit harder? We're going to go into our hip lift and rotation. If you've got a replacement and you'd rather not do that, if it doesn't suit, don't do it. Okay, maybe do some more pulses. Lift, rotate, lift, back. Feel how that little bit of resistance making everything work a little bit harder, and then we go again. So it's a lift, rotate, touch, lift, rotate, back. Also stabilizes working deep down in the abdominals as well. So we lift, rotate. Let's do a couple more on one side. 1, stick with the same side. 2, we're trying to keep the pelvis square. 3, back and down. Ready to go again. 1, 2, 3, back and down. You can adjust the position of the band. It might roll about a bit, but there's no big deal. You might be lucky enough to have a looped band, so you could use that. So we're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg lift. 1, 2, 3. Keep lengthening. So if you're doing this right, you should really feel that in your core as well. And rest down. Okay, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to come back to the bender ball. Place the bender ball in between. We're going to do some more reps there, and then we're going to kind of put the whole lot together to end off with. So sit tall, and we're going to do some little squeeze, little pulses on the ball. Sit tall, here we go. Lengthen the spine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just add some shoulders while we recover through the inner thighs. Ready? We're going to squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shoulders. Notice how I'm bringing in the elbow lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And rest. You should have really felt that through the inner thigh. Come back into, slide back so you're sitting nice and tall. Ready? We're going to kind of like recap on everything we've done. So let your arms hang down by your side. We go into a little bit of side flexion. Pull back. Side flexion. Pull back. And again, side flexion. Pull back. Side flexion. Lift. Lift. Rotation. Lengthen. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 2 more. Lengthen. coming back in. Opposite arm, opposite leg lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ready? We're going to round through the thoracic spine. Round, open, round. Adjust if you need to. So if it's causing discomfort, maybe not forward flex. Open, forward flex, open. Let's just hold here, sit tall. Let's just make sure we mobilize the neck. So we're just going to take the ear towards the right ear towards the right shoulder without bringing the shoulder up. Center, other side. So you might not travel very far. Center. Now we're going to drop it down and forward roll to the other side and roll to the other side. Roll. Center yourself. Sit nice and tall. Roll your shoulders back and down. You've just done some lovely spinal shoulder mobility. Well done.